Sure, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir. Management is, above all, a practice where art, science, and craft meet. These words said by Henry Minzenberg. The art or science of management is ever an evolving process, and today is nothing short of an opportunity to learn and hone our skills to enhance our trade practices. Good morning to everyone present here. Welcome to the third two-day international conference on virtual inclination of commerce and management in the arena of Industry 5.0 with special guest Mr. Sarvanakumar Sir, Head of Management in the South India, Tamil Nadu and Kerala ACC, and Royston Ebenezer Sir, Relationship Manager, Learning Tamil Nadu and Kerala ACCA. First, I like to invite our mentor and the leader, the one who leads us by example, our head of the department, Dr. M. Nirmala ma'am, to deliver the welcome address. Ma'am, over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Sharnya ma'am. Every new day is another chance to modify our life. Each challenge is your best stepstone in your life. A very pleasant morning to all. I am really privileged to welcoming the distinguished gathering, eminent speaker of this session, my dear colleagues, friends, and students on this fruitful occasion. On behalf of Hindustan Educational and Charitable Trust, I warmly welcome our chief guest and special speaker, Mr. Kush Ahuja, Head Business Relations ACCA Dubai. We have an eminent person being with us as a guest of honor. We are grateful to him for readily accepting our invitation. Warm welcome you, sir. We are eagerly waiting to utilize your valuable session. It's my privilege to welcome Mr. Royston Ebenezer, Business Relationship Manager, Learning, Tamil Nadu and Kerala ACCA. And I also welcome Mr. Saravana Kumar, Head of South India, Tamil Nadu, Kerala ACCA. And Mr. Calvin, Regional Manager, Business Development ISDC. Thank you all for your support to associate this program. I'm thankful to our Managing Trustee and Secretary, Srimati Saraswati Kannayan ma'am, and our Executive Trustee, Dr. Priya Satish Prabhu ma'am, Hindustan Educational and Charitable Trust, for their continuous support to conduct this kind of events and strengthen our academy. It's my great pleasure to thank our Honorable CEO, Dr. Karnagaran sir, and our Principal, Dr. A. Ponasami sir, for their support to conduct this program. I'm grateful to welcome our faculty members, colleagues, and my vibrant students. I welcome you all in my humble words to this special occasion. I wish you all together as much as possible for the effective utilization of this program. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, this is the moment we all been waiting for. Sir is the head of business relations at ACCA, the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants. Sir is a chartered accountant with over 20 years of rich experience working in area of finance with a firm like Pricewaterhouse, Citibank, Mumbai, and HDFC Portfolio Management Service for North and East India and the Middle East. Sir has done his Master of Business Administration from Indian School of Business, Hyderabad, specializing in market and finance. Sir currently heads business relations for ACCA in India, based out of Dubai office. He was awarded by ACCA in recognition of his exceptions performance in the market, especially promoting the ACCA IFRS courses. He is our chief guest, Mr. Kush Ahuja, sir. Sir, you can take over the session. The stage is yours.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate Royston. If you can please start the presentation. Thank you, Royston. I'm delighted to be here today at this conference by the Hindustan University on this topic of virtual inclination of business and finance in the arena of Industry 5.0. First, my congratulations on this event and regards to all the dignitaries, co-speakers, organizers, and respected faculty of the university. In the last 2 to 3 years, we have moved towards digital in a manner like no other. And indeed, both business and education are not just digitally inclined, but now digitally driven. Further, the use of technology has also led to vast changes in industry and development of business models, some of which have not been seen before. So these are technology driven. And the finance function needs to be able to think ahead in order to keep abreast and ahead of these changes, and so do what you are studying so that it is relevant when you are qualified. Today, I want to be able to share with you snippets from a piece of research that we did a few years ago, but which I think has found renewed relevance given the last couple of years. ACCA, the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, we have a tagline of Think Ahead, and we do exactly that. We do our research with the industry because we talked about finance in the arena of industry. We do our research in the arena of industry to ensure that whatever we teach and examine today needs to be relevant for the future. And with over 70 years of research experience, our professional insights are a tome of knowledge. I invite all of you to explore the website and the Professional Insights app. There is a lot to be learned over there. Our aim across all areas of finance is to provide stakeholders and partners with the knowledge that you need to contribute to both society and economy. So just a little bit about ACCA. ACCA was formed in 1904 and is the global body for professional accountants. We pride ourselves on being the most forward-thinking professional accountancy body, which members and our future members or students represent us in more than 178 countries, and you can see that we work with a very large number of partners and employers. So why are so many people across the globe, and you can see 233,000 members, 536,000 students across 178 countries, they want to be able to think ahead. They are looking at the promise of employability. They want to be relevant and they want to be global. And on these basic tenets is how ACCA stands. Now, this study that I'm going to be talking about today, Royston, if you could move to the next slide. This study that I'm talking about today was in partnership with UK's Economic and Social Research Council. And we held workshops across the world from Bangalore, Lagos, London, Paris, Hong Kong, Yangzhou in China. And we challenged entrepreneurs, professionals, corporate heads to collaborate, to work, think together about some of these new business models that are likely to come up and have already come up in the future, but have gained even more importance recently. The next slide, please. So the elevation of the business model. So briefly, let's look at the 5 reasons why rethinking business models has become more prominent, and we look at it from the current digital lens. So the first one is the impact of technology. You see, in the last 2 years when supply chains were disrupted, there have been a huge impact that technology has had. There have been huge reductions in cost. Computing power has increased, which means that now smaller computers can take on the Goliaths of the world. The second thing is the growth of entrepreneurs and the startup culture. Having one job for life has now disappeared, and starting something of your own has gained popularity immensely. And this is for everybody, not just for Generation Z, but everybody. The rise of new tools to meet this growing demand, both hardware and software. If you see those plier and the spanner which is over there, the screwdriver and the spanner which is over there, that is what it represents. That there are new tools which are available, both hardware and software. Second last is the growth of networks, and the last is the changing shape of the world. And we'll take a look at all of this. But I'll briefly talk about, first of all, technology as a driving force. So if you can move to the next slide. You see, this slide is very interesting, even though you might think that it is only till 2015, but that is where my question lies. If you look at the number of internet users and the role of technology, it is the fabric of almost all business models today. You really cannot have no technology or be immersed in technology in any new business model. It's impossible to ignore the rapid rise in the growth of the internet. So you look at it from 1995 to 2005, and in 2015, we are hitting more than 3.6 billion internet users. And any guesses in terms of the number of current internet users? I know you can Google that. So let me share with you that the current number of internet users, 4.66 billion by an estimate in 2021. And the number of mobile phones is also catching up similarly. It's more than 3.5 billion, 4 billion mobile phones. And technology is one of the value creation enablers when combined with all of these factors is leading to reshaping of business models. So if we can move to the next slide. You look at this is very interesting. It looks like an elephant. Now, what is an elephant doing over here is that, World Bank economist Milanovic tells the story of changes in income for the global population. And if we look at this chart, we see that it represents about a 20-year period, starting on the left-hand side, where the world's poorest have remained poor. We have seen huge rise in incomes coming up for the world's population. And this is principally the story of, places like India and China, led by other developing economies also. We then also see a steep fall in incomes of the next group of the world's population, and this is the working class in the West, in the Western economies. And finally, we see that there is a spike in the world's richest, which is towards the end, which is the world's 1%. The key point here is that this change in the chart shows the demonstration that the world needs new ways of doing things to even out this unevenness in the income. And another reason is that it tells us many stories about India, China, and Asia's rise in shifts in manufacturing, globalization, urbanization, and so on and so forth. So we'll come to the crux now that I've set this background of why technology is such an important player today, how technology is challenging business models. Let's look at what some of these business models are briefly. Royston, next slide, please. So 6 business models of the future. We won't look at all of them, but I just wanted to talk about what they are. Platform-based, and barter, pay for what you want, and mega hyperlocal. So we'll just look at probably 2 or 3 of them quickly. The next slide, we look at platform-based models. Now this is possibly a service, Ola, Uber, that all of us are familiar with. And platform-based models, next slide please. Platform-based models are fast enabling an acceleration in the changing nature of work. Because what do platform-based models do? They are matching the buyers and sellers of work to create new types of employment. Now, from a finance professional's perspective, this is a very interesting thing because these platforms essentially do not have any assets. And yet, they are worth billions. And the accounting and the finance for them is another challenge altogether. So I can tell you that accounting and finance is going to remain one of the most interesting areas to be in globally. Because when these new models come, one of the things that all of them will need is management of finances. And you will have to innovate as these business models will innovate. As a matter of fact, many of these business models are driven by the ability for finance professionals to innovate, but we'll come to that in a minute. So platforms, This is calling into question a number of long-held assumptions also. Are there employees? Are there employer responsibilities? Who is regulating all these networks? And this shift is actually redrawing norms and expectations around the world and around work itself. Let's look at the next model, which is mass customization. So if we can move to the next slide, please. Now sorry, just go to the previous one. Just let me be there. Thank you, Royston. Mass customization, you can see this machine working and it is making 3D models. So I'll give you an example of a business 3D modeling. Freedom machine tool, as you can see over here. If we can move to the next slide now. What do we mean by mass customization? This is a world where 3D printers, manufacturing, precision machines like this machine that you've seen, it's called a CNC router, are beginning to change the traditional manufacturing and global supply chains. On demand is going to replace stock. We all know that businesses will try and maintain stock, but now that is changing. Many of the businesses are producing only on demand. And mass customization, while we are talking today in today's conference about 5.0, mass customization is reaching 2.0 and 3.0 levels, has the potential to change traditional manufacturing entirely. So there is more than a manufacturing renaissance that is sense of reviving. Today, if you want to order furniture, for instance, it can be done on demand. So if we go to Opendesk, which is this next slide, which you see over here. I'll just wait. All right. So this picture is of a person called Dennis, who is based in Brazil, and he's a person who has designed this chair. And this chair is available to buy on a platform called Opendesk. What you do over here is you can download the designs for this chair and have it made at a local workshop like this one. This person is in Mexico and he's making this over there from Brazil. And this chair has been downloaded and printed tens of thousands of times, which has helped Dennis to now become a known designer, but for so many people to have the design of this chair in order to run their shops. And this is all about mass customization. So what does mass customization do? Move to the next slide, please. Thank you. It's been called a movement that is providing that anyone can be a maker. So Royston, if you could click through this slide. It has the ability to harness digital opportunities and lower hardware costs to dematerialize supply chains and put fabrication in your hands. You can make this chair. You as students can make this chair. A faculty could make this chair because now you have the design for it, right? And that's just amazing that somewhere from across the world, somebody can send you a design and you can work on it. So let's move to the next one, which is called frugal. What is frugal? Frugal models can offer solutions that look at new genius solutions and creativity with using very little input or infrastructure. So these models help in catering for customers to look for high quality, however, not very fancy products that can open up entirely new market segments. So if we imagine, for example, the world of healthcare, how about we get low-cost equipment? Now, this is an example of an ultrasound scanner from General Electric, and you can get high-quality diagnostic care without the need for people to actually be in hospital. So if anybody's had a scan, you would know how big the ultrasound machine is. You're lying on a bed, so on and so forth. This thing is just handheld, very, very small. And these kind of new hardwares and softwares which are coming up are allowing healthcare to reach different parts of the world. So we move to the next slide, please, and click through that. So frugal, this can apply as much to an advanced economy as to a middle class or emerging economy, because now there is more disposable income and we are able to reach all corners of the world using frugal. So these kind of products, these are lean, clean, simple, and social. This is an important piece of lean, clean, simple, and social. How technology, and when we are looking at virtual technology, we're looking at industry. Some of it is coming into the hardware and software space, coming together, making these innovations possible and challenging contemporary thinking. So next one is modern barter. So for all students who have been students of accountancy and finance, I'm sure you know what barter is. It is the exchange of goods. And it's amazing that it's making a comeback today. So when we go ahead, because we are challenging what is currency. And when we are challenging currency itself, why can't it be goods and services? So digital forms of currency are coming up. We are all heard of crypto, and these are not centrally bank backed. So there's no central bank behind them. These have the potential for meaningful value systems. However, there are also exchanges that are there which allow for people to exchange services directly, and these kind of platforms are also there on the web, and if you haven't checked them out, please do. So pulling it all together and having a look at all of these models, if we move to the next slide, there are three key areas in any business model of the future. The first one is digital. We all thought that learning how to program some time back was the next big thing. But programming is becoming increasingly ubiquitous. People are able to access programming talent. But being able to procure an expanding list of digital services is going to be vital for all finance professionals. So you will need to be enmeshed within technology and be very comfortable with technology as future finance professionals who want to come into industry feeling relevant. The second thing is regulation and governance is changing. There is a general problem here that people see that, hey, there is a new business model, a new idea. What do regulators do in such a case? And sometimes they're not ready for this disruptive change. So regulators will also need to upend themselves. And lastly, there is new type of value being created. You'll see the diamond on screen. That diamond is the new value. One often offers digital value in various forms. So we might be talking about how subscribers have grown or how the growth of a digital service has taken place, other intangibles, and these things have become more valuable than jewelry. There is also the thing that we look at non-financial valuation. And I think we all need to also take cognizance of sustainability, of the fact that we want to take responsibility not just of profits, but also of the environment, climate, so on and so forth. And there are things like integrated reporting. Now, I've talked about all of these business models, and I've talked about finance playing a key role. And one of the things that I said at the very beginning was that we all need to be able to stay ahead. And from that perspective, if you look at your own careers, and I'll just take a minute on this, are our careers a destination? Our careers are not a destination, our careers are a journey. And at different points of our journey, we need to know what is a good practice and what is not a good one. What skills are needed in my area of expertise? What roles can I do? And if I have a role, what does it mean? What work will I have to do? How do I see jobs that relate to what I really want to do? How do I see others who are doing this successfully? And for that, before I close, I wanted to leave with you an excellent tool that ACC has created through an extensive piece of research called the Career Navigator. So Royston, if I can request you to move to the next slide and share the video with our audience, please. Royston, we are unable to get audio. I'm unable to hear this audio. Never mind. Royston, I don't think that the audio is working, so we can share it separately at some time later. But what I'll do is I'll invite you to please explore a tool called the ACCA Career Navigator on our website. It's an extensive tool all the business models that I've talked about today. And when we talked about the topic of today's presentation or of today's conference, we're talking about virtual inclination of business and finance. We all need to be digitally aligned and be relevant in our areas of industry. And for that, the navigator can offer an excellent guidance to you in terms of what you need to do at what point in time, what kind of competencies and capabilities you need in order to prepare for the future. And with that, I'll end my presentation for today. Please do follow us, have a look at ACCA. There's a lot of information over there. And I thank Hindustan University again for inviting me as the chief guest to address the audience today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. That was really a wonderful session and useful too. Now it's time to raise a question. The participants are asked to raise a questions or queries if you have any, or else you can just ping in the chat box. Dear participants, you can raise your questions.
I hope all the ACCA students are in the meeting. If you have any clarification regarding your goals and anything, you just ask me.
Sir, shall we wind up the session, sir? Do you have any question, participants? Do anyone have any questions? Okay, fine. Sir, if there is no question, shall we wind up, sir?
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, sir. That was really a wonderful session. Now I invite Dr. J. Christopher, sir, to deliver the word of thanks. Christopher, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Good morning to one and all gathered on this wonderful occasion. Today, I feel extremely honored and privileged for having given this opportunity to extend a vote of thanks on this auspicious occasion. Needless to say, but this is a momentous day in our college. On behalf of our college, I would like to propose a vote of thanks for the participants and delegates across all the streams of education from research to science and technology. I would like to thank each and everyone who has attended our international conference on virtual inclination of commerce and management in the arena of Industry 5.0. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation for the TSR Kanayan, founder and chairman, Hindustan Educational and Charitable Trust, for his continuous guidance. Further, we are grateful to our managing trustee, Tirumadi Saraswati Kanayan, for encouraging us to conduct this program. We would also like to express our sincere thanks to our secretary and executive trustee, Dr. Priya Satish Prabhu, for her encouragement in conducting this event. I am immensely thankful to our principal, Dr. A. Ponnaswamy, who has been our greatest support in conducting this program and sharing his wisdom to us in conducting this event. We also would like to to acknowledge our gratitude to our convener and head of the department, become PA and AF, Dr. M. Nirmala, for her support and guidance. I extended to all of us at this occasion. I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our hearty thanks to Mr. Kush Ahuja, Heads of Business Relations, ACCA Dubai, for sharing his knowledge with us. Sir has clearly explained how digital world has changed all businesses in the world. Thank you for your valuable presence. We are all inspired by your great words, sir. Last but not the least, I want to extend a vote of thanks to our organizing team, admin staff, and our learned professors for making this event happen so beautifully. I also cannot overlook the efforts of our volunteers as well as the students who gave their last week and worked dedicatedly for this conference. Once again, I thank you all. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Christopher, sir. Thank you. Dear participants, kindly switch on your video so that we can take a screenshot. Kindly switch on all of your videos for a moment. Everyone, kindly switch on your video. Thank you all. So you can leave the session, and we'll send you the link in the group for the next session. The next session will be starting by 10:30 sharp. Thank you, students. Thank you, participants.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Kush. Thank you, Mr. Royston, sir, and Mr. Sir. Thank you so much for everyone. Let me join by our next session at 10:30. Right? Join, dear students, join with us by 10:30.
Once again, I thank all the participants and our chief guest. The next session's link will be shared by sharp 10:30. Thank you all. Sir? So the next link will be shared, sir. The session will start by 10:30. We'll share you the link, sir.
Sir, Ramanathan, sir, welcome, sir.
Good morning, madam. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. இன்னொரு செஷன் இப்பதான் முடிஞ்சது சார்.
Okay, okay.
நம்ம ஒரு 10:20 அப்படியே ஜாயின் பண்ணிக்கலாம் சார்.
Okay, okay, madam. No issues.
ஓகே சார். யூடியூப் லைவ் போயிட்டு இருக்குது சார். நம்மளோட ப்ரோக்ராமும் லைவ்ல போகுங்க.
Okay, very nice, very nice. Thank you so much.
தேங்க்யூ சார். தேங்க்ஸ்.
Thank you.
என்னம்மா எந்த
Shall I start, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
I think if you do something and it turns out pretty good, then you should do something else wonderful. Not dwell on it for too long. Just figure out what's next. These words by Steve Jobs. Both commerce and management are an ever ending, ever trending, and never evolving process. There is no such thing called achieved, and there is always a thing left to be achieved, and another. Today, it's all about not just learning, but to adapt that evolving platform of management. Good morning to everyone present here. Welcome to another amazing session. Today, we want to deliver something different, and we have an erudite guest here with us today to speak about business landscape changes industry by fifth industrial revolution. Not just a topic, but a vision towards which we have to work for. First, I like to invite our mentor and leader, our head of the department, Dr. M. Nirmala ma'am, to deliver the welcome address. Nirmala ma'am, over to you,
Yeah,
ma'am.
thank you. Thank you, Sanya ma'am. A very pleasant morning to all. I am really privileged to welcoming the distinguished gathering, eminent speaker of this session, and my dear colleagues, friends, and students on this third 2 days international conference on ritual inclination of commerce and management in the arena of Industry 5.0. The motive of our today's conference is intended to give a platform for the academicians, researchers, and representatives from the industry to give a validation of their views and opinions deliberated in the research work latest topics related to commerce and management. On behalf of Hindustan Educational and Charitable Trust, I warmly welcome to our chief guest and speaker, our special speaker, Dr. Ramanand sir, founder and managing director, ACE International Private Limited, Singapore. We have an eminent person being with us as a guest of honor. We are grateful to him for readily accepting our invitation. We are eagerly expecting to share his valuable experience with us on the topic of business landscape changes induced by fifth industrial revolution. Warm welcome you, sir.
Good morning, all. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you, sir. It's my privilege to thank our managing trustee, secretary, Srimati Saraswati Kannan ma'am, and our executive trustee, Dr. Priya Satish Prabhu, Hindustan Educational and Charitable Trust, for their continuous support to conduct this international conference and strengthen our academy. It's my great pleasure to thank our Honorable CEO, Dr. Karnagaran sir, and our Principal, Dr. A. Ponusami sir, for their support to conduct this session. I'm grateful to welcoming the faculty and student participants in and around southern region to make it useful for your fruitful experience. It's my immense pleasure welcome and thanks to my department faculty members, colleagues of our institution and my vibrant students. I welcome you all in my humble words to this valuable occasion. I congratulate and wish you all together as much as possible for the effective utilization of this session. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, it is the time for our guest. Sir started his career as a research fellow. He worked with various universities, both the national and at international level, from 1997 and to 2009. Sir then moved to a national Ying Ming University, Taiwan, as a postdoctoral research fellow till mid 2011. Sir has commenced his Sir has commenced in Singapore with the position of business development manager, where he was responsible for contract negotiation and operations. His stint with the same field continues till today. He has worked with APM Technologies, Eversafe Technologies, Aventa, Global, and currently with ACE International, all based in Singapore, with the last one being his own venture. He has lot of credentials to his credit, which is quite a big list. He is a member of several organizations as well as a member in some of them. He has various awards and honors in his name. He has his credits 116 webinars, seminars under various platforms. He has published several papers. His decorations are endless. I am honored to welcome Dr. Ramanathan sir to deliver his address. Sir, you can take over the session.
Thank you, Mrs. Sharanya, for your wonderful introduction. I would like to thank the dignitaries and the organizers who are very much keen about me and wanted to engage my talk today for your valuable conference. It is always keeping in my mind, I wanted to move along with the youngsters, especially the students. So I am very much thankful for giving this honor to come and talk in front of you people. 2 years back, I have been there in the campus. Still, I remember the time when I visited your campus. Hopefully, in coming days, I will get the same chance to come and again visit your place. I would like to thank the dignitaries of the Management Trustee Group, Principal, Dean of the faculties, Head of the departments, and faculty people, as well as the young students. Good morning to you all. So today the thematic topic of the conference is very much in need as of now. Already the keynote speaker, the guest speaker, he has narrated certain points. So I would like to share my views about the particular topic which I have planned to cover today. I will open up my slides. Have you all see this in full screen mode?
Yes, sir. It is not on the full screen, but it's in a slide view, sir.
Okay. Can you please see this? Is it moving?
Yes, sir.
So slides are moving.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it is visible now.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning, all. Today, the topic of my presentation is business landscape changes induced by fifth industrial revolution. As per the pictures here, I put for the first slide the way how do we able to think and prosper well with the available opportunity from the day started from industry 1.0 to till now the industry 5.0, the transformation condition. And we are preparing lot of machines, lot of automation process, and lot of infrastructure, amenities, facilities to handhold together with the machine source and machine resources, along with the human tendency, that is the manpower resource. Myself, Dr. B. Ramanathan, I am the founder and managing director of ACE International Private Limited, Singapore. The ACE acronym defines for Aspiring Community for Excellence. So today the world is looking for the excellence status to reach out. So our company's purpose and motto is we have to make ourselves to catch up the excellence status. Oxford Economics recently they defined in the fifth industrial revolution the creativity must meet to the technology or technological resources. Now the techniques, tools and technological platforms are plenty, but still we are working on to make it very perfect and tune it up as per our desirable result to get it out of that. So still many more researches are going on. We are working very hard to find out the way how to handle with the machine resources for making the better environment. There are 5 industrial revolutions so far. The industry 1.0 started in 1784 the mass production assembly lines using the electrical power. When the electricity was invented, that time it came to play the role. Industry 2.0, the mechanization and the introduction of steam power, that is the water steam power, that is mainly creating a lot of new inventions and innovations to incorporate. That is during the time of 1870. Then the industry 3.0, where the automation process as well as the IT sources, the systems and robotics came to plug and play. 1969 onwards. Industry 4.0, as of now, we are engaging our activities together with the smart model factory, autonomous system, Internet of Things, and machine learning. What is Industry 5.0? It is the mass customization and the cyber physical cognitive systems engage together, put together their efforts, as I already shown up the things. The machine resources managed with the human resources. That is the perspective things, look for the tomorrow conditions. So this one also reflecting the quite same, but the European group, they are very much keen to create the co-working space along with the mass personalization. That is the Industry 5.0. The roadmap of historical revolutions, as previously mentioned, 1780 is the mechanization, 1870 was the electrification, 1970 the automation, 1980 the globalization, and today is the era of digitalization. How we can able to improve the feature perception, that is the personalization. So why the Industry 5.0 coming to play a crucial role? Because of the stage of development in manufacturing sector, machines may come and put together their tendencies for smart enough to perform well. Because of the complexity, we cannot able to control with the right attitude available with the machine resources, manpower resources. So the machine resources are coming to play the crucial role and prepare the capacity for the atmosphere. So we must need to think how to collaborate these kind of capabilities together with the human tendencies. So the Industry 4.0 is leveraging for focusing towards the delivering perspectives for the customer experience, hyper customization, that is also very important, responsive and distributed supply chain, that is logistics and supply chain. As of now, the COVID-19 pandemic reduced the manpower support, but even machine resources are plenty. You could able to consider the Amazon platform, how it is organizing for their logistics and supply chain. The experience getting activated with the products, because products, solutions or services are making the business ecosystem where we can able to consider the experience oriented action plans. Return of manpower to the factories. We have to consider the senior people who are getting retired, how to incorporate them into our business ecosystem. Again, we have to provide the opportunity for them to come back and work together with us. Why the Industry 5.0 to focus? Because it is a solution provider as of now for the people and then the environment in the world. So we must need to think of the different aspects: reduced cost, empowered workforces or workers, and attracting the best talents. Because it is the condition, it is the employers are willing to recruit people through the talent acquisition program. If you are a talent, you have the capability of working in multitask oriented environment, you are welcome for the job to procure. Training for the evolving skills. There are a lot of workforce skills are emerged, so we must need to endorse with the right attitude and the right skills. Then only we can able to be recruited for the firm who are conducting the interview. Competitive edge. It is also the new markets where the omni-channel or multi-channel markets are going to prepare the conditions. So many people, they are thinking online, offline, as well as integrated or blended atmospheres, how to plug in or fishing up. Improve the safety and well-being. That is also very important. Workplace safety and health also endorse the importance of development goal sets and becoming more empowered, as well as leading actions for the sustainable development goal sets to achieve agile and resilient for the flexible and adaptable technologies. We have to customize our technology according to the desirable result what we want to get out of them. According to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, here 17 factors we could able to see that no poverty to partnership for the goal sets. How do we define the fifth industrial revolution is going to support or accelerate or adopt these kind of sustainable development goals to achieve? We have to think about that. The key enabling technologies of Industry 5.0. There are a lot of technologies, the computing technology, artificial intelligence, cobots, and the 6G spectrum is